Hey guys, Roke here, and this is my Final Fantasy IX Let's Play. Let's have at it. Alright guys, I'm just going to give you a little background. Final Fantasy IX is probably my favorite Final Fantasy just because of the great storyline, and the building of the characters is pretty well done. I'm just going to change a few things in my settings here that will be for later. Okay, so I will be trying to get the rank S treasure hunter. That means I need to get probably about 75% of the treasures hidden around the world, and all of the Chocobo monographs, I believe is the name of them. I will be keeping all the characters' names default. This is Zidane. He is a member of Tantalus, the bandit, I guess, crew, thievery band, whatever you want to call it. I will try not to talk during the cutscenes. Try not to speak through the text. I'll try to remember that. I know this storyline so well, I could probably give you a summary of every speech. I've beaten this game probably 12 plus times, so it's quite ingrained in my memory. There are a few things, if I want to do them, I might need to pull up a guide, but I can get through most of the game, beating it easily without any guides. So right here, the only item I care about is the Mage Masher. Everything else is just a bonus. The Mage Masher can either go really well or really poorly. It has a middle ground. We'll see if I hit that. So far, it's not that bad of luck. That's definitely in the middle ground. You can definitely go probably 50 plus steals and not get the Mage Masher. Sometimes you can get it third try. So, just depends on the luck of the draw. It's a rare steal. Really not that bad of a rare steal. Definitely not the worst. Not really the best either, but usually the best aren't really worth it. So this is probably the easiest fight in the game. really impossibly hard to lose, even if you have a terrible luck on the Mage Masher and you really want it. So this is their boss, Baku. He is the leader of Tantalus, and we're here to kidnap the princess. If you want an extra scene, you can tell Baku you're here to kidnap the queen. I think it's 36 times. It takes a while, and you get an extra little secret scene. I'm not going to do that here. It would take quite a long time, unless I threw on the speed up booster. I will probably not be using the speed up booster during videos, just because it's quite annoying to watch, I imagine. It's hard to control. Sorry about that. If I hit any buttons during the cutscene, it'll ask me if I want to skip the cutscene. I was getting a little impatient. I generally mash around when I'm not playing. I get kind of impatient. Sorry, did not really mean to do that. I briefly went over why I'm going to be trying to get most of the treasures around. I think I can explain it a bit better. So the rank S treasure hunter, I think you need 340 points, and each treasure I pick up that is around is worth 1 point, and the Chocobo treasures on the world map are worth 2 points. So I need to get a total of 340, I believe, total points to get the rank S treasure hunter. And it's just something I like to get, so it affirms that I'm picking up most of the treasures around the world, and it doesn't really do anything. It adds a little scene, which I will show you, and yeah, that's about it. There's quite a few mini games in this game, so I'm picking up cards right now. There's a decent card game in Final Fantasy IX, far more complex than the card game in Final Fantasy VIII, and was not as well received. I personally have never gone to the trouble of trying to get all the cards. I played maybe outside of the card tournament 10 to 20 card games. I didn't like it too much. I went into the rules of the card games. We'll explain it a little later, just so I could explain it on the video and give you a better understanding of how the card game is played and help you out. It's not very well explained in the game, but I'll also show you the NPC that will explain the card game if you want. So this is Hippal. He is a side character. You can get cards. Well, you can find his hidden card stashes if you talk to him, I think on the next screen. And his mom wants you to do another side quest, which is race him as Vivi, which is the character I am now. So I should be able to find him around this screen somewhere, if I can remember how. If not, I have no intention of playing the card game outside of the card tournament. So I know he's running around here at some point, but I just can't remember what the trigger is to get him to come out here. Oh, there he is. So he tells you he stashed his 3 precious cards. I will explain the jump rope in a second. I'll just go get his cards. So he always hides his cards in the chapel. I'll go there after this, just because she happened to run out when I was running by. So she bogards one of the items upstairs. It's just Gil, but every treasure point counts for me. So all you need to do to... I do that way more than I like to admit. So all you have to do to get his treasure cards is go up the ladder and ring the bell. It's really easy, but if you don't talk to him, you have no access to the cards. He also stashes the cards somewhere else, in the same spot, sorry, later on in the game, and they're much better cards. These 3 cards, they're not very good. But, seeing as we have no cards, or very little cards, they're quite helpful, I guess, if you really want to start early game carding. After I finish getting all the early game cards here, I will explain how the points and the cards work. And I'm going to start a little quest over here. So I think his name's Tom. Tom's lost his kitten, and doing this side quest does not reward anything, but I always do it. I feel bad for Tom. I've had pets run away in the past. It's not a good feeling. It makes me feel better just to help Tom find his kitten. So the kitten's just at the statue. All you have to do is go up and talk to it. So I said I was going to talk about the jump rope minigame. If you've ever played this game, I'm sure you've tried it or heard how infamous it is. It is the hardest minigame in this game. It's very frame perfect. Not frame perfect, but it's very frame dependent, and I think by the end of it, your frame window is something like 5 frames to continually jump. The highest you can get is 1,000, and that's where you get the key item, Jump Rope King or something. I am terrible at it. The highest I've ever gotten is probably 60. It is not easy. I'll give it a little go, but you will see how bad I am. So I don't usually not talk during minigames, but I am really bad at this one, so I probably will shut up. The first one was 10. You got 10 gil. 21's not bad for me. I'm very terrible at it. It's my least favorite minigame of this, probably the whole series, to be quite honest. So this is the Ticket Master. We show the ticket that was probably swapped from Puck. It's never really confirmed, but most Final Fantasy players believe that Puck stole your ticket just because he tells you that he knows that your ticket is fake when you're talking over here. So this guy's not wrong. Vivi is kind of a klutz. It adds to his character, his innocent little boy character. He's probably the fan favorite for characters of this game. He's great. You can tell him it's not fake, but he really won't believe you, and it'll go the same way. He's not Alleyway Jack. I never tell him that, so I'm just going to tell him it's fake. So he wants us to be his slave, and he wants us to be a lookout. So I like saying that just because it's funny. You have to say it's clear. Even when you say it's clear, somebody does end up coming down the alley, and that's Alleyway Jack. He will be the one who can teach you about cards, and he'll bring you to the bar if you talk to him. Yeah, I just wanted to show you where he brought you. And then he'll give you a whole list of things. Every time you talk about a category here, it will unlock a new category lower. I'm not gonna read it. I'll just explain what I know about cards. And, yeah, it's a big math kind of game, so I will explain what I can. Let me find a good card. I don't have any good cards. Okay, so the first number is how much you are doing in attack damage. So with a 0, you're doing between 0 and 15, and it's a roll. And with a 1, you're doing 16 to 31, so it increments by 16 each time, starting at 0, if that makes any sense. The P indicates it's a physical attack, and the M indicates it's a magical attack. So your third row here, which is a 1, is your physical defense, and the 0 at the end is your magical defense. All the numbers, besides the P and the M, they're all the number rolled in the value. So it goes from 0 to F, I believe, and the most it can roll up to is 255 if it's an F. And that's all I really know about it, besides the arrows. So the arrows indicate where you can attack and defend by. If you attack another arrow, that's when the rolls come out from your attack or their attack if they're attacking you, versus your defense or their defense. And I hope that made a lot of sense. There's not much I will be dealing with cards. The only time I will play cards is the card tournament. So the main reason we're following Puck is to go see the play. I guess he calls it a steeple. I was just calling it a chapel or a church. I think I just call it a chapel. Sorry if I'm mashing text too much. So this is a Moogle. In this game, they are your save points. They allow you to use tents, and they have this thing called Magnet. It's basically their mail, and you can receive mail on it as well. And sometimes they ask you to send mail for them. We will be trying to deal with all their Magnet so that we can get a protect ring at the end. This is Stiltskin. He is a wandering Moogle, and every time you find him stationed somewhere, you can buy certain items from him. His shop is the best shop in the game. His items aren't that great, but the price is unbeatable. He sells at such a good deal, it's impossible not to buy his stuff. Alright, I won't be ending this video, I'm just going to save. I'm going to save in slot 2, and I'm just going to fill up all of them while I run through this play. I just want to see how many files. So I'll start here, and then I will go down the list to the other ones. Every time I finish a video, I will stop there in case I need to change a video. Hope that's not too much of a pain. Let's check the Magnet. So we're going to deliver the next mail to Monty. That's not too far away. I think he's in the Evil Forest. So, I talked about stealing earlier, just about the Mage Masher, but I will be stealing as many times as possible with Zidane to up my steal value. Kind of like my treasure hunter value, I need a certain amount of steals. I don't know the number, I think it's roughly around 400. Your steal affects one of his late game spells, and it can do max damage if you have a certain number of steals, depending on your speed. I think if you have 400, it doesn't matter what your speed is. but I will be aiming to get that before I get the Skilled Thievery. And it's about disc 3 you get Thievery, I believe. And before then, I'm really hoping to have enough steals. So even when I'm farming off video, I will be stealing pretty much most of the time. There are certain steals that I need. I'm gonna stop. Sorry about that. There are certain steals I need, and there's most of the steals is just I want. My general requirement for Disc 1 steals is really only the Mage Master and the Mithril Dagger. Besides that, everything else is just really a bonus. So coming up is the sword fight. The sword fight mechanic, it's just a button mashing game. It's not too hard. It used to be a lot harder in the PlayStation version, the PlayStation 1 version I mean. You could have to get 48, I believe is the number, in a row without getting a mistake, and it needs to be done in 60 seconds, I believe. So it's the same here, but you have a lot more leeway because there was a lot more lag in the PS1, so the prompts came up a lot slower. I'm actually pretty good at that. I'm not too uncomfortable with it. Usually only takes me between 1 to 3 tries. So I will explain the rewards after this fight. This fight's really easy. You have SFX, which is stage effects magic, instead of steel because you're on stage. And the easiest way to deal with it is just not to use it. They don't do any damage, they don't add any bonuses or anything. It's just for effects. You don't get any points for it or anything. So in the sword fighting minigame, there's 2 different point values. There's a point value of how fast you're doing it, and that's represented by the nobles. So if you get 100 out of 100, that means you did the fight fast enough. But if you made any mistakes during the fight, you will not impress the queen. And you need both. Well, you don't need both. So depending on your nobles gives you the certain amount of gil, and you need to impress the queen to get the moonstone. I want both. So, wish me luck. I'm probably not going to talk during this, just because I don't want to take a few extra tries. And I don't really have anything to explain at this point. I will explain before I start. I'm on an Xbox controller. I'm more comfortable with PlayStation, that's what I grew up with, but I've done this a few times, so I'm pretty sure I can do it. Well, let's go. First try. 100 out of 100. And because I didn't miss, Queen Braun was impressed. And then you can retry it as many times as you want. So I got the 10,000 gil. And to get the Moonstone, all you need to do is talk to Queen Braun again as Steiner. That is something I've forgotten probably 5 times. And I usually restart because of it. It's something I actually forgot when I was doing a video for this earlier, and I ended up restarting it anyways because of audio. I don't really have a great audio setup. I'm just using my my gaming headset, and I hope it's not too bad this time. So if you weren't reading, basically what's happening is we're in the castle with Zidane and Blank, and we're about to kidnap the princess. You can get extra scenes by walking up and down the corridors, and it's just the guards coming and looking for any intruders. So it really doesn't matter what you choose there. At the end of the day, it'll change the scene just a tiny bit, barely noticeable, but at the end of the day, the scene plays out as it does right here. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep mashing. Hope my slow mashing helped for any fast readers. So this is Zorn and Thorn. Their personalities, it's hit or miss for people. As a kid, I thought it was really funny the way they talked. It's kind of like Yoda in Star Wars, where they talk backwards, but just reading it nowadays, it's just because of the amount of times I've played it, the joke seems overplayed, and yeah, it's the community's kind of split on if they're funny or if they're just annoying. But it's a kid's game. That's the demographic. So I thought it was funny when I was a kid. The more and more I play this game, the more I think someone needs to remove the stick up Steiner's butt. It's surprising how fast Zorn and Thorn notice that the princess is missing. So, if you didn't notice earlier, the 2 Knights of Pluto that show up are the ones that had their suits of armor stolen by Zidane and Blank. Basically, we're given a side quest here to go and retrieve all the Knights of Pluto before we go and rescue the princess. It's an easy side quest. There's only one knight who's kind of a pain to get, but I've done it so many times, it's not a problem. I just need to remember where to start. So the first two are just in the locker room here. Just run up and talk to them, send them on their way. If you want to learn more about the Knights of Pluto, at the end, the NPC I talked to, you can talk to him and learn more about them. Their personalities kind of matter later on in the game by when you're ordering them to do certain jobs. It helps to order them to do jobs that they'd be inclined to do. Like this guy, he's always hungry, and you can't send him to help, he's just too hungry to help. So you might have saw earlier this guy running. He's easy to catch if you run there from that side. I'm just coming over here to check on Quina. He or she is another character who they never tell what gender. They just refer to Quina as like a she/he in a singular word. But very good character, pretty funny. I'll go back and forth referring to him or her, just kind of like the game does. So we found 4 Knights of Pluto. The guy down here is the 5th one. He asks if he can leave the Knights of Pluto to write a fantasy novel. It doesn't matter what you say, he can't leave because he needs to go and find the princess. So I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, this is the Steam version of Final Fantasy IX. I believe it's the remake version. And yeah. There are boosters. I probably won't be using any boosters during my gameplay. I will be using the speed up booster when I'm grinding off video. So I just talked to 2 Knights of Pluto. One was actually blank, so he doesn't count. But if you talk to him, you get a little added bonus part of the conversation when you talk to the final guy, who is up the stairs up here. So you have to talk to this guy twice, and then he'll tell you more about the knights, and so that was the extra one. And then he'll give you more information about them, and that'll help you decide on who to put where, and when you're ordering them around later. He will also give you an elixir for finding everyone. So that ends our little side quest, and this goes into a cutscene, I believe, in a little second. So I'll stop talking. this word I can use to summarize Steiner is doofus. I will call him a doofus pretty much every chance I get. So this is another supporting character. Her name is Ruby. She's given a southern accent through text, which is pretty fun. She's an actress, also works with Tantalus, but part of their cover for as actors. Most of the side characters in this game are pretty well drawn out. I don't have anything bad to say about any of the characters, save maybe one or two. And I think those are mostly characters that are part of your main party, actually. I'll wait till those characters are introduced before I give my 2 cents. That was pretty rude. Don't say that kind of thing about your friend. Luckily for us, Cinna comes prepared, and he made us an escape hatch just in case we needed it for this. I'm debating whether or not to make a count of why Steiner's a doofus. I suppose this would be number 2 if I do continue a count of why Steiner's a doofus. He lets Blank just jump in and doesn't even try to help him out if he was actually stuck, and just leaves. He's obviously not stuck, but if he was, don't you think you should just pull him out and jump down? Doesn't make any sense. So on this airship, if you turn this left or right, it accelerates the engine and knocks loose treasures. So I'm doing it both ways, picking up both treasures. So I'm gonna equip the Mage Masher right now, and any other equipment I have. I think it's just the Mage Masher, I need to be honest. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's all I have. Trying not to run in the door because then I lose these 2 treasures. One's a Phoenix Down, I believe the other one's a Phoenix Pinion. Works like a Phoenix Down, but it sells for a lot more, and it can be used as an equipable item later on when you get another character. That's about the middle of Disc 3. We are quite a far ways away from that. So, these steals here aren't really necessary, they're just a bonus, and with 3 stealing characters it's really easy, so I usually steal all the items here. I think there's only 2, but there might be 3, we'll see. Cinna does damage is probably the worst out of any character, so I don't usually attack with him, and it actually probably saves me time when Stunner kills him. And he did right there. He answered my prayers. I'm not sure if I remember if I got the Moonstone or not. I'm pretty sure I went back and got it, and unfortunately I didn't check before this fight. I think I equipped it on Zidane to get Beast Killer, but I totally forgot. And I'm kind of stuck in a bunch of battles in a row, and I can't check until after a cinematic. So I'm hopefully gonna remember, but I have no control over anyone's equipment until after 4 battles? That would be the first one. 3 more battles, I believe. And a bunch of story. I will definitely need that Moonstone. I want the achievement, and I always forget 1 Moonstone, so it would be really nice to actually get that achievement. Not that I need to do it in a Let's Play, but it would be nice not to have to redo the whole game just to get 1 Moonstone. I guess this would be reason number 3. Steiner is a doofus. He's definitely looked straight at the crowd multiple times, like right here, and he doesn't seem to realize he's become part of the play. He gets baffled multiple times, and it's very embarrassing. Steiner, this is why we can't have nice things. So those 2 were the Nero brothers. There's quite a bunch of their family around the game. There's a side quest at the end in Disc 4. I'm referring to discs because that's what I started with in this, and it kind of separates the game nicely. So in Disc 4 there's a mini quest. I think there's 7 Nero brothers, and they also reward a Protect Ring just like Machnet does. We will be getting a Protect Ring early game, just because I'm going to do the Chocobo minigame with the speed up booster. It's really not that terrible. It probably adds to get the Protect Ring and the Robo Lords. I'd say you add about 2 hours to your game. I won't be going for the Excalibur 2 on this run. I've never actually gotten it. I have tried on the PlayStation 1 version. I got as far as Disc 2 in under 6 hours, but I was having a hard time surviving, so I just gave up. I will eventually do a Excalibur 2 run though. It is a lot easier with the speed up booster, but I think I'll do a run without the booster. So, like the earlier fight, we can't use steel because we're stuck on stage, so we have stage effects again. We only have Zidane and Marcus, so not that big of a difference, but just like the battle earlier, we only need to focus on their leader, so we're going to spam Steiner. back row, they do half their damage in physical, but they also receive half damage in physical. Seeing as they both either attack or heal with magic, it's really no point in putting them in the front row. And their physical damage is pretty poor anyways. Later on I will be putting Zidane in the back row, just because I will be stealing with him mostly, and there's not much point in having him do damage. So just like the earlier fight, I cannot steal, and I have stage effects instead. There is a way to speed this fight up by knocking your own party members out, but I never do that. I'm not in that much of a hurry, and I'm always afraid that if I knock a party member out, Steiner might attack Burnett and knock her out. And that would be a game over. But if you've seen a speedrun of this game, you've definitely seen them do it properly and knock out Zidane, Phoebe, and Marcus. That limits the amount of text boxes that are coming up in the fight, and pushes the phases along. Thought I'd make fun of Steiner for not looking earlier than he does, but he has a point. Who's going to be in the middle of a fight, 4v1, and turn around? It just seems ridiculous. Pretty sure the fight is over already. Yeah, I have no access to the attack menu anymore. She is quite a cold-blooded ruler to blow up her own daughter. I need to remember to check my equipment and see if I have the moonstone. I will be very choked if I do not. So here is when we first learn about ATEs, which is active time events. It allows us to see more mostly of our team members when they're off by themselves. We will get to view supporting characters as well, but it's mostly our own party members. You can skip ATEs and then they will not affect the game, but there's times where you want to affect the game to get certain items. Okay, I want to check if I have... Oh, thank God. It would have been really embarrassing to do that again. I usually farm right here, but I'm not gonna bother. I don't really need to farm, probably until I get to Lindblum. I'll just have to play a bit better. There are fights that are a lot more dangerous if you don't farm early, but it's doable very, very easily. Just adds more risk and chance to die. So I'm not going to be avoiding fights, I'm just going to take them as I find them. I might do small farming bits on videos, a few fights, but I'll keep the grinding to off video. So this is the trance system of Final Fantasy IX. Basically you take a big enough beating and that bar under your ATB charges up. It allows you to use trance for 2 to 3 turns, depending on the character and their level. So Zidaine's level 1, so he only has 2 uses of trance. His trances are based on the skills he has. His skills are based on the weapons he can get from. So I only have free energy and Tidal Flame right now. Tidal Flame would kill both Garnet and the monster that has her prison. And that'll game over. Most people who steal the Mage Master have done that at least once. Very comical. Very easy to end your game. And that should probably be the fight. During that fight, the Prison Cage, I believe the name of the monster is, he has no steals, so you're not losing anything by actually using the trance. The next fight has steals to take from the monster. The second fight is a little bit harder, but not by much, because Vivi also attacks the monster. You just have to mind Vivi's health. Zidane and Steiner aren't gonna die, but Vivi can die. And I'm gonna just go full steal and hope for the best. throw a potion on BB halfway through the fight, just to guarantee he doesn't die. So if he absorbs again, I will throw another potion. Or a potion. So I'm not going to attack the Steiner until after I throw the potion. For two reasons. I want the steal to be successful, and he will use absorb before Steiner's next turn. The rest is the easier of the two steals. I don't remember exactly what he has because the item is not really useful. I think it's a iron sword or a broadsword. No, it's probably a broadsword. Oh, okay, it's the broadsword. It's not useful besides stealing from another character. And that character is weak. So this fight should be over in this hit or Cyanid's hit, probably. I took quite a while to get both steals. I missed the first two, which honestly is longer than it should take, but both steals are easy. So any boss fight in this game does not award XP, only AP. I probably should have went over that earlier, but we didn't really have any items to give AP to most of the time. You saw my equipment, and there's quite a few equipment needing AP on Cydian. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be mashing so quickly. Basically, they both got attacked with seedlings from the monster, and they're taking the antidote to recover. Both Steiner and Phoebe got infected. Luckily, Cydian's backflip managed to evade a mist. Video game logic. That's what I'll leave it to. I don't know if I'll count that as Steiner being a doofus. Ingesting something he thought that might be a poison. It's kind of really dumb, but it really wasn't a poison. I don't know. A doofus for thinking it's a poison and drinking it anyway, so I'll go with that. So we have 3 ATEs here, I believe. This is Steiner's attempt at escape. He wants to go help the princess. Nobody's listening. Nobody's outside the door. But, not a bad idea. Crashed vessel. Might be on fire. I don't know. Not a bad idea. But nobody's listening, so it doesn't really matter. So, this is an ATE about Ruby and how she's stuck in Alexandria because everyone left without her. Which is weird, because she was right beside the band, and the band made it. So here we find out that the doll, during our first meeting in the hideout, is actually a doll that was Cinna's. And weirdly enough, he has a doll of a real person. So we're just going to check up on Vivi. He'll help us make the decision whether or not we want to leave the band to rescue Princess Garnet. Back to treasure hunting. Just Gil on the bed, and another treasure here. I could probably keep count of how many I pick up and whether or not I'm at the 340 mark, but that would be a long process. And quite honestly, you only need about 75% of the treasures, and that's including the Chocobo monographs. So this is the scene you could have affected from earlier, but it changes so little you probably wouldn't notice unless you played this game a lot. It gives you the option, but at the end of the day, it's an option that is a non-option. Whatever your choice, you'll still have to go and look for her. I'm just throwing Zidane in the back row to prevent getting knocked out very easily while I'm stealing from the boss. And it's not that hard of a fight. To be quite honest, it's probably a waste of my time to put him in the back row. We will see how I feel during my attack phase. If I steal it quickly, it was a waste. If it wasn't, it's not that big of a deal because I want to put him in the back row when I have Vivi and Steiner on my team. The game developers are very lenient on this boss fight because they realize this is your first boss fight with a solo member. So they made the boss have a 50% chance to miss on attacks. Definitely possible to lose this fight. This is probably the first, you probably could lose, you can definitely lose on the plant monster earlier with Garnet, especially with Tidal Flame. I'm sure a lot of people have lost, like myself. Okay, I already stole both items. I'm not gonna bother to put him in the front row. I don't have any attacking items like you would in other Final Fantasies at this point, like Ikaruny in Final Fantasy 7. But I don't really need them. I'm gonna throw, actually I'll attack first, then I'll throw a potion. Probably could attack now and win the fight. But I want to be extra cautious in the video. I tried to flip the script by going down again from item to go to attack. It did not work. I would have died if I went for that one attack. And that ends this fight. That's a cheap shot. Oof. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a treasure chest down here early. so that when I get pushed through this screen, I don't have to come back. That's just the way I like to do it. It doesn't save any time. Adelbert. I always thought his name was Albert. Adelbert. It's a neat name. And back to the room for the treasure. I don't remember if there's 2 or 1 in this room, but I'm guessing 1. So in here, Vivi and Steiner come up with a new magic. I believe they name it Magic Sword. And it allows you to use Steiner's MP to deal magic damage with Vivi's magic. It's super strong early game. It's quite useless later on, but it's super strong at this point in the game. Excuse me. Very gassy today. I'm sorry about that. Alright, level 3 would be my ideal goal, and I'll probably farm that at the well. I guess they call it a fountain. It's basically just a little oasis, and provides you full heal and MP. It doesn't heal status effects, but blind is the more common status effect in here, and I don't care if Vivi or Steiner can see, because magic isn't affected by blind. So you still have that 100% guarantee hit. And that will end part 1 of my Final Fantasy IX Let's Play. Thanks for joining. I had lots of fun making this, and I hope you join me for the next one. Have a nice day.